Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, good afternoon all. My name is Ikrawati and my friend Phonna Adilla. We from class 1 and we delighted to be here today to talk to you about the learning of science basic concept by using scientific inquiry to improve student thinking, working, and scientific attitude abilities. Next, as you know, today I'm talking to you about first, science learning can be mastered with scientific attitude, scientific process, and scientific products. The second, inquiry learning includes three segments. Number one, identify the question. Number two, answer the question. Number three, solve problem that critical and analysis thinking. The third, the teacher tasks during the inquiry learning process is to perfect learning result from student. The last, inquiry basic learning can steer the student to perfect impacts. First, I will talk to about methodologies is first methodology. This result is a class action result with two seekers. The second methodology is result seekers with steps there are planning, implementing, observing, and reflecting. The third methodology, this result was conducted and PGSD students of third semester starting from September to December 2015. The last methodology, the instrument yours was the foundation of citizenship to reach the abilities of word and thinking scientifically as well as scientific identity. Okay, next. In the table indicates there in first sectors, students have not 4 years and do activity using a scientific etiquette. In second years, the student will edible, think, and work scientifically with the fights to presenting research simple practical that will be obtained apply elementary school. Okay, next presentation from Phonna Adilla.
Okay, now I will continue the discussion of IKRA in Table 2. In Cycle 2, it occurs increase to scientific attitude of student. This process shows the student already getting used to and understanding the flow learning with scientific inquiry. Students began to be able to design and present the result of the practicum by paying attention to the basic concept of science. Okay, next, discussion. Before using the learning inquiry method, students were less responsive and was only focused on the lecture explanation. Therefore, we need a method to increase student enthusiasm and interest in learning science. Before starting the research, the lecturer gave the material first and instructed the student for experimental experiment in Cycle 1 with the theme of nature balance and in Cycle 2 with the theme of eco-friendly product. The result from aspect of the scientific thinking ability and work scientifically. Cycle 1. The ability to think scientifically with words category pretty good. This is because the students are still adapting to the learning system of scientific inquiry. Cycle 2. The ability to think scientifically increased to be very good. Students are able to think and work scientifically in designing and presenting practicum results. Very important skill learned in science learning are thinking and working scientifically. Thinking scientifically will develop students to always work scientifically. This is due to the skill of thinking, reasoning, and acting logically to research and bulk science concepts that are useful for solving science problems by applying scientific inquiry learning. The ability of students to think and work scientifically from Cycle 1 to Cycle 2 has increased. This is because students are encouraged to hone their skill in designing simple practicum. Okay. The result from aspect of the scientific attitude. Cycle 1. The ability of scientific attitude was less active category. This is because there are still many students who are less active in expressing opinions. Our students were not familiar using the inquiry method. Cycle 2. The ability to scientific attitude was active category. This is because students already understand the inquiry method and students began to respond and be offline simple practicum design. The scientific attitude needs to be tried from students so that students have the ability and accustomed to being a researcher. Students who have a scientific attitude are expected to have a high curiosity, be able to make decisions, develop a desire to seek answers, approach problems with an open mind, and practice problem solving. In addition, students are expected to be able to work together and enjoy researching and encourage students to have social sensitivity. In Cycle 1, there is lack of time allocation because students are still at the adaptation stage with the inquiry method. And in Cycle 2, with the time management is more effective and efficient. Okay, next, conclusion. I'd like to conclude by learning of science basic concepts through scientific inquiry can be applied conducively by students. Learning of science basic concepts through scientific inquiry has increased thinking ability and work scientifically as well as scientific attitudes of students. Learning science basic concepts with scientific inquiry is able to explore and develop students' sensitivity in designing simple experiments that can be applied in elementary school. And this reference. Thank you for watching and listening to our explanation. Now that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video as much as possible. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.